Hi everybody. This video is primarily about the installation of an EM2 speaker into one of my HSTs, which I'll show you in a second. But I just wanted to show a couple of things before I do that. I've noticed people on YouTube soldering and about keeping the tip of the soldering iron clean. I wanted to show you a couple of things I use to help me keep the tips on my soldering irons clean. Let me show you this one. You can see the tip is oxidized and pretty dirty. I don't normally allow it to get into this stage, but I wanted to show you this. What I use, just put that back for a second, is something called tip thinner cleaner, which is that. And I also use a similar thing, which is like a block of soap. Just open this, which is that. These last, I've had this now for a very long time, 2 or 3 years. And same with this. If I just take the top off, I should have done this before I started the video. You can see that's well used, and I've had this for about 2 years as well. And you can see where I've been using it. What I'll show you now is how it works. So you can see the tip there now, which is pretty dirty. Hopefully it's focused. And all you do is you just put it inside, and you can see the smoke. That's burning off all the garbage. And you just keep on doing it. And just clean it. And keep on doing it. Sometimes it's very quick, depends how bad the tip is. And I deliberately made this one pretty bad. So it would give you an idea of how to clean a very badly, not corroded, oxidized build up on your so you can see it now. It's starting to die in shot, or rather focus, not in shot. We'll you get the idea, and it doesn't take long to clean the tip and take it back to the stage where you first used it. The more you use it, obviously, this cleaning element, I mean, the more you use it, the cleaner you can get the tip. Eventually that'll look like silver. And that's just one little tip of keeping the end of your soldering iron clean. Because if you don't keep it clean, the solder won't adhere to it, and it won't stick to it. Also, if you're applying solder to wire, which I haven't got close to hand to show you, rather than put the solder on the tip and then apply it to your piece of wire to tin it, what you should do is place a small amount, depending on how thin the wire is. If it's very, very thin, like this one, which is used on decoders and speaker wires, what you would do is put a small amount of solder on the tip, hold it underneath while you've got your solder on top of it. So the solder heats up the wire, and with your solder, let's see if I can get a piece to show you. No, I haven't got any to hand. They're packed away. we would hold the solder on top of the wire, and the heat goes through the wire and melts the solder, and then you get a really nice tinning effect. The amount of solder you put on the end is dependent on how thick your wire is. So that is that. This tinner cleaner works really well. Get rid of all the garbage off the end of the soldering iron. Okay, so that's that. What I want to show you next, just get rid of these. The Mega Bass speaker. You've probably all seen them now and heard them. They are very, very good. Absolutely brilliant. I put a couple in one of my HSTs, which I showed you on eBay, not eBay, on YouTube, and they are very good. I'm going to put a couple in my Deltics now, and I'll show you one of the Deltics when I do it. I'll probably show you how I do it. But the reason for this part of the video is this is one of my HSTs I'm going to install these speakers in. And these are the EM2 speakers. You've probably seen my Intercity HST. The sounds these make are phenomenal. They even make these speakers sound inadequate. So I'm going to put these in here. Now this HST, the chassis is different to the one I recently put on YouTube. Someone mentioned, because I had to cut some of the chassis away, someone mentioned that they could fit them in the roof. I can't do it because I haven't cut the screw mounting points off, so it won't go in. So you go into the top of the roof, and there is no need to cut the chassis away. Now I tried that. Now I can only assume, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was that mentioned it to me. The chassis I had, the chassis came all the way up here. So when this was in the roof, it would foul on it. Hence why I had to cut it away. This one, however, the chassis is different, so I could probably fit it where the speaker is there, which I'm going to take off when I fit the EM2 speaker. This would, let me just show you, this would sit in there. So you can see it'll sit in. And it won't foul on the roof, and it fits in really well. Hi again. Sorry about that. My camera battery failed again. I keep saying I need to check it as I'm making these videos, but I always forget. But anyway, I think I was explaining about the Mega Bass speaker and why I had to cut out part of the chassis and why it would not fit in the roof as suggested to me. I can only assume the person who fitted these without cutting the chassis had a chassis similar to this. The one I did earlier, this chassis came all the way almost up to the end with a slight gap in the middle, and I had to cut that bit out to be able to sit the Mega Bass speaker in. Looking at this chassis, there's a very good chance if I remove this, that will sit. I can't show it properly because I've still got the screw points on. That would fit in there and sit on that part there. So let me zoom in a little bit. So that there, this lip here, this Mega Bass speaker should sit on there quite easily, and it will not foul on the roof. Or I could fit it to the roof facing downwards and it wouldn't touch the chassis. But as mentioned on the previous one I did, this chassis came all the way almost to the end, so that would have ended up touching it. So, and that's why I had to cut it away. I hope that makes sense. So the next part of this video will be, let's zoom back out again. Oops. The next part of this video will be these EM2 speakers installed inside here. What I'll probably have to do is cut half of the fans to take one of the fans away, because that'll sit about there, which I prefer to remove this and have one of these installed, because these sound absolutely brilliant. But this is the first time I've installed one of these with a Zimo decoder. I wanted to compare the sounds between the Zimo and the lock sound with Lego Man Biffo sounds. This YouTube one, U2's, has got U2's sounds on the Zimo decoder. So I wanted to compare U2's with Lego Man, but I can't find it. I'm assuming it's packed away. I've got about 10 boxes of items packed away in the attic, ready for when I move, or I persuade my wife to have a shed in this garden, get rid of the aviary. So anyway, I hope the soldering made sense, and my explanation as to why I had to cut the chassis away to fit the mega bass speaker in. So yeah, in a few seconds you'll see this installed in there, hopefully, and I'll show you it working. Even though these speakers are brilliant, these outstrip just about everything, but they are hard to fit. So that's it for now. Be back soon, hopefully. Hi again. I've now installed the EM2 speaker into the powered car of my HST. I'll just quickly show you what I've done. As mentioned earlier, I had to cut away some of the chassis. This is the bit I cut away because of the design of this chassis. The mega speaker would have fitted in without altering the chassis, but I wanted these EM2 speakers in because they're absolutely brilliant speakers. The only other thing I've had to leave out is this, which is the fans that you see through the top there. What I might do at a later date, because I can't fit it back in, even if I cut it in half so one fan showed, I can't do it. So what I've decided to do is, again at a later date, find some way of fixing these two fans inside there. If anybody's got any ideas of how to remove these fans, the blades, because they were powered and they were turned by the motor, and it's never always a good idea of having these fans turned by the motor, because it puts strain on the motor and it interferes with its running. So I disconnected this, but since I've installed this EM2 speaker, this unit won't fit in at all really. I've managed to get the Stay Alive underneath again, Stay Alive capacitor. So if anybody's got any ideas of how I can remove these and fix them to the roof so they look okay, let me know. So yeah, that's it for this. What I tend to do is when I cut the chassis away, I file it smooth and then I paint it black again. This is held on with black tack, which is extremely strong. So what I'll do now, I'll put the top on and I will show you it working. I basically tested it and I'm not 100% happy in comparison with Lego Man Biffo's. I think he's got the edge, but I'll put it together and let me know what you think. See you in a few seconds. Hi again. I've now placed the body on the chassis. I mentioned a little earlier about this fan. I'll try and zoom in so you can see what I mean. You can see through here the decoder and the edge of the EM2 speaker. I mean, I could probably live with that. But if I can find a way of fixing these in position, I'd probably be happier. If anybody's done this, taken fans off like this and fitted them in the grills, let me know, please. I mean, I could try some tack under one of these and sit it on top of the decoder, but I don't know whether that would look good at all, and it might vibrate off. Same if I put one on the edge of the speaker, so it's on top of the speaker but up against the grill. I don't know. Maybe there is no way. I'll have to leave this off. But because that's what it looks like. Now I can leave them on the dummy car because the speaker will fit in the bottom quite comfortably. So I'll leave them on this. But if I can find a way of fitting the fans on here, I'll have a go doing that. But that's a future project. But I'll start her up. Let me know what you think. Let's zoom back out again. Oops, wrong way. So here goes. I'll start it up now. Where are we? There it is. So that's the idling. I'll play a couple of horns. I quite like that one. That one. I won't go through all the sounds. It'll probably get boring. So I'll run it. So here goes. Slow it down now. Right, idling again. I'll turn it off. Yeah, from what I can remember, I think Lego Man Biffo's got the edge. When I did my Intercity, it's far more, what's the word, like throaty, a much deeper burble sound. So I've got Network Southeast, not Network Southeast, Network Rail, the yellow HST. It should be here tomorrow. If it runs and it works fine, I'm going to order a matched pair of Biffos. Bit expensive, but I do think it's better than these. I think a matched pair of these Zimmos works out to just under £200 with delivery. Biffo for a matched pair of ESU lock sounds works out to about 235. So there's about £35 difference, and I think that £35 may be beneficial. But if I do it, the next video it'll be in two parts. Someone wants me to show them how to alter the volume on a decoder via CVs. Now I'll show you this one, altering the volume, and I'll show you the the yellow HST with Lego Man Before sounds in, with an EM2 speaker in, and let me know what you think of the difference in the quality of sound. So that's it for this video. I'm going to do the dummy car next and put it away for now, unless someone can let me know how I do this. And when I do the change the volume of the sound on this one, so that'll be the next video. The next video will be a comparison between this and the Lego Man Before sound, and how I alter the volume by altering CVs. So yep, that's it for now. Thanks very much.